Love.
We are live.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
Wow.
That sounded like Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken.
So, if we're live,
Hello, hello.
what do we do next?
What do we do with our hands?
What are we starting with, fellas?
I'm just trying to get it on the show.
I am too. I'm just trying to get it to pop. There we go.
Travis.
Got good.
All right. Well, there we go. I'm liking it. I'm doing the other thing with it.
Yep, you gotta do the other thing.
I did the other thing, and now I think I'm just going to have an emotion flurry. Hello, El Conquistador, Nathan Kistler. What's going on? Little Dr. Detail in the house, little Carney action.
Davey Stout.
All right, I've done the emotion flurry. I'm done.
Man. Proud of you.
And everything disappeared.
Well, it's okay.
Let me finish sending this message, and then I will be completely 100% focused.
It's not like we're trying to do a show or anything.
In the
right?
show.
Yeah, geez, brother.
Well, I don't know. We're starting. Nobody said, all right, let's go. Here we go.
I think Bull said, all
Never
right, we're live.
Well, no, well, I know that. We always go live, but then we actually go live. It's like we're live for 5 minutes.
But
and
we're,
just sitting
but we're
around
not even going to do
BSing.
5 minutes. We're live. 30 people are on. We're live.
Wow.
Wow.
Happy Tuesday indeed, sir.
It is a Tuesday, isn't it?
It is. Thirsty Tuesday. Is that wait, that's Thursday.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
You say goodbye, and I say hello.
Hello. How's everybody doing? What's everybody drinking tonight?
Man, I'm going to have 23 flavors of awesome
Oh,
as
wait,
per
not your
usual.
turn yet.
Oh, you said everybody.
Well, you're not everybody. You're somebody.
I'll be darned. Out there in Spaceland,
Yeah.
in the Whiffy land.
Yeah, in the Whiffy out there. And back. We're good, Cat. We are good.
Hey, kids.
Man, I saw a meme the other day, and it was someone that said, when this is all over, I don't know where I'm going to have to go first. Weight Watchers or AA. and I enjoyed that.
I don't know which one I'm going to have to do first.
Made you chuckle.
I love I think it's great that the inner alcoholic has come out in everyone during all of this. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Well, really. Eli Kidder drinking a golden top. That's right, buddy.
Eli just texted me and told me to get focused.
Focus, Bradley.
Eli's like when he's not here, he's still a podcast coach. Which was the last one I did?
I don't know, man, but I wish we'd get our producer to start doing that.
Me too.
Because it would be like you were already doing the show.
Yeah, I gotta do these S words, the swads.
Well, S word after this shit.
Yeah. Look at Davey Stout drinking some brown water. Maker's 46.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, we got
Can't hide money, can you, Davey? Can't hide money. Chris is in AA. Yeah, right. Looking out from high. I was so stuck. You know a song stuck in my head the other day? The Flame.
Yeah.
That's
And-
funny that you said that because somebody posted I think it was Beth Barnes that I work with. She posted a video of Cheap Trick performing that live, and that's
Really?
been in my head for a couple 3 days.
What's up, Trent? Yeah, and Eli, don't slouch. And I feel bad. Alexis says, "Hey, there."
Hello, Alexis. You shouldn't probably be watching, but you're almost an adult, so do what you want.
Raymond Williams says you get Bub, and he's still not wiser.
Ha!
Mill Creek Irish Stout.
That sounds like it'll get you drunk.
Full disclosure, I didn't know Cheap Trick sang The Flame till like maybe a year ago, 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
I know every word of that song. So I just never took it upon me to look up who sang it. I was like, I know the words. It doesn't matter. It never really crossed my
I think
mind.
it's like Glass
I
Tiger
was
or
like
somebody.
Firehouse or somebody, you know?
It's not a trivia question.
Yeah. I was like, dang. And then somebody, here we were, Cheap Trick The Flame. I'm like, they sing The Flame.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And they played it at Exit 111.
I knew then who sang it. It's been like I said, it's like a year or two
that was a
ago.
year ago, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I
All right,
feel
you guys-
terrible.
Ready to do this?
Do this. Yes,
mean-
Dula, we're 6 feet apart.
You mean do the show?
I guess.
I thought we were just going to drink on that and read comments.
Nope.
Big Al, what are you? I don't even know what that is. Wow. Richard Marks, good one there, Mr. Williams. Good one.
Man, I just heard an interview with him on Adam Carolla's show. I did not know he's married to Daisy Fuentes. Has been for a long time, apparently.
I did not know that.
Good for him.
Yes, absolutely good for
Yeah.
him.
I
That's
want-
that's his crowning achievement. I don't care about all the hits.
I still remember the feud between him and Brad Paisley.
I did
Brad
not know
Paisley
they had.
first started.
I didn't know they had a feud.
Oh man, it was funny.
Hello.
What were they feuding over?
Apparently he said something about country music being sitting on the porch whittling and eating biscuits, and Brad Paisley barked back at him, and this was like, God, early 2000s probably.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, Rich, you better chill out because this dude can play guitar.
Yeah.
You better shut your mouth right now.
I don't know. From what I understand, Richard Marx has got a bit of an attitude. I get the. Forget all the ballads and stuff that he used to sing. I believe he will throw down at the drop of a hat. I just get that. I've only heard just a handful of interviews with him in my entire life. I'm not a huge Marx fan, but in all his interviews, he's got a little bit of an edge to him.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't
That's
know,
probably how I
man.
got
He's got
Daisy
that
Fuentes.
got a little crazy look in his eye.
All right, y'all ready to do this?
Waiting on you.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome to the
Next episode.
of the Everyday Joe Show. I'm your host, Lee Travis Reed. You might have heard me before.
Who?
Me.
Oh, yes. People have heard of you, Travis.
Thank you. I got, finally, somebody.
Tens and tens of people.
Tens and tens, I'm telling you. All right, guys, tonight, Studio 11 Music Edition, favorite 80s pop stars, pop singers, and or groups, if you will. We got Mr. Tooth here.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking. How are you now?
I am fabulous.
Are you sure it's just fabulous?
Actually, it may actually be Travulous.
Wow.
Scene. Yes. Yes. What are you drinking tonight, buddy?
23 flavors of awesome. I just poured it in this Deer Park water bottle.
Man, hey, you know there's a 2-liter in there.
I'm going to refill it.
That's a good idea, man. How you know? How do you know it's 23? It's
Well,
in Deer
the
Park.
2-liter bottle that I poured it from into this
Right.
said so on the label.
Good enough for me. I'm in. Bradley Ramsey,
Hello, hello.
how are you, sir?
Doing good.
Doing good. What you drinking, man?
Water.
Water. Food Line brand.
Food line tonight. Yep,
That's your brand.
That's who had it. That's the store I was into. And I was like, I need some water. So it's either that or Clover Valley
Oh, Thomas.
or
Tom
Great Valley.
Two Cats?
Depending on it. I've avoided Walmart like the plague. Well, no pun intended there.
That's good. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Bull.
What up, yo?
How are you, sir?
I am Travulous.
No, that's mine.
Whoa. How can you? Your name's not Travis.
Yeah.
I can still be Travulous. It's an emotion, isn't it?
I feel like you have to be a Travis or something with a Trav in it to be Travulous.
Yeah.
So Travulous doesn't transcend.
I don't think it transcends.
Doesn't transcend to John Revis.
You could be bullicious.
You could be malicious.
I'm malicious.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. No, that's good. Sounds like bubblegum.
I like it.
Delicious.
I like it a
Right.
lot.
Thank you, Bradley. We'll try that. For
There
a
you
while.
go.
Thank you.
Bull,
Sir.
what are you drinking?
Mellow Yellow. Going to switch over to a Travis size fine pilsner here in just a little.
Oh, short and squatty.
Un momento, short and squatty, and that's where we'll live at for a little while.
Oh, well,
We'll just go ahead and marinate on it.
I like it.
Marinade.
Better marinate on that.
Yep, put a little marinade.
Thanks. Watch
Spell
Steve
parts
Otter.
on you, bud.
Ha
Who else is here tonight? Who's on the dais?
Me.
Travis,
Hey.
what are you drinking?
Fine Pilsner beer.
How do you know?
Says so on the can.
Oh, be darned, it does. Is it still Union made?
Union made right there.
Says so
Oh.
right there.
Eli calls them old golden tops.
I like what he calls them.
Yeah.
Diet Millers, Golden Tops.
Diet Mueller.
What's it taste like?
Tonight?
Yeah, sir.
Woo! Premium overtime on Saturday.
That's what I'm talking about, sir.
God dang, boy.
It's like holiday pay or something.
Boy, that's good right
All
there.
right.
God dang, that's right, Trim. Pinky up. That's what you got to drink.
Well, pinky up. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, guys. Like I said earlier tonight, Music Edition. We're going to talk about our favorite 80s singers, pop stars, and or groups.
Or songs.
Songs.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we can do songs. The reason why we're going to do 80s pop, because we're, most of us in here, sans bull, mainly geared toward the heavier side, the rock and roll, the heavy metal. Tooth does branch off. Bradley knows a lot about it all. Me, I'm pretty rock and roll. I go, a little lighter side, Jackson Brown, stuff like that. So this is kind of out of the show's wheelhouse, we'll say. So we're going to give the 80s, I had to burp. Give the 80s pop some love, man, because that was, to me, that was a fun time in life there. We were younger. Like my cousin Brian, he said earlier today that 80s music was why he listened to 70s music. But, he's a few years older than me, so he was, I could see his point. Like 90s music, I'm not a big fan of 90s music. I like 2000s or, 80s or 70s. So I get his point on that. So we're going to give the 80s a little love. And like I said, pop, not much our wheelhouse, so to speak.
We don't usually talk. I mean, don't get me wrong. I listen to a lot of popular music from all of the genre, all of the decades. Mm-hmm. But that's not really what we would turn to. Oh, let me turn on the pop channel today. Yeah. It's not our,
Yeah, no, that's...
I have to concur.
And Drew Henson, I use mousse in my hair, and it'll move a little bit.
Now, I would like to... the term pop. Mm-hmm. There's some artists that I will probably mention, or they don't get mentioned before me, that may be considered... They're definitely pop.
Right.
But they would be pop rock, but like no 80s hair band. Anything that would be considered hard rock or metal is not on my list in any way.
Me too.
Way, shape, or form. But there's like some guys that would be considered, some folks say, well, he's a rock guy. Well, he's a pop rock guy. He was on 107.5 alongside Madonna.
Right.
So this guy wasn't touring with Motley Crue or Warren or whatever in the 80s. This guy was on a double bill with, Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Not to give anything away.
That was my next thing. I was going to ask, what are we going to consider pop? And I think Bradley kind of hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I mean, if they weren't on Headbangers Ball, in my opinion, they're pop.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's like, they're not on my list. I don't know if you guys have them on there, but they're on my honorable mentions, but they're a good example of Heart. Mm-hmm. In the 70s, they were rock and roll. Yep. They were in there with all the other rock artists. And in the 80s, they took a turn. They went pop, with,
listen to your heart.
Yeah. And how
all I want to do is make love to you.
Yeah.
Great
how
song.
do I get to alone?
Great music, though.
Great, yeah. And I love
right
those
up there
songs.
with Wilson Phillips.
Yes, sir. So I think that's a good example. They were rock, and then they went to pop. Mm-hmm. Or you take, Kenny Rogers, he was pop rock, and then went to country. So, I mean, he was pop. So I think if they were pop at any time, they should be included. Yeah. Just my 2 cents. Because if you're going to include somebody that was rock and then turn to pop, you got to include the vice versa.
I'm in.
Yeah. I like it. Let's see. Davy Stout, first concert from him was 87, Huey Lewis and the News at Starwood.
Come on.
I love Huey Lewis and the News.
I was so sad to hear about his voice.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All the decades, Drew Henson. All the 80s, man, pop from 80 to 89.
I want to tell this. I'm going to do my very best to. I'm going to keep this at least PG-13. But there was a very famous groupie that wrote a book about all of her conquests in the 70s and 80s.
Right.
And the number one guy that stood, and this lady had been around. I'm talking, she was with some Zeppelins. She was with some Doors. She, crept on up, like I said, into the 80s and even early 90s. But the number one guy that's at the top of her list, who was the best of the best, Huey Lewis.
Really?
Yes.
In the sack?
Yes.
Huey Lewis and his news.
And all around, Bull, she gives him a 10 in all areas.
All categories.
All categories. Yes.
Was she a groupie or a Band-Aid?
I guess maybe a Band-Aid. I don't know what you call it, but she's a very famous groupie. Like when she wrote this book, there was nobody that could argue that they hadn't spent time with her because that's how well known she was. It was like, you had accomplished something in the music business if she came looking for you.
Wow.
And, and Huey Lewis is the #1 gold standard in her book.
That's what's up.
Yep.
I have a whole new respect for Huey Lewis and the news, or Huey Lewis and his news.
Huh?
Yeah. Big Germ asked, was Pantera pop at one time? Pantera was a hair band when they first started.
Absolutely. Thank you for acknowledging
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, they really were, and I seen one of their promo videos. Wow,
Thank you.
wow, it was crazy.
And also, thank you, Pantera, for not sticking with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate what you did do, and thank you.
Let me get one more from the fans here. REO Speedwagon. I didn't consider REO Speedwagon pop. I consider rock because their guitar player is Derek something. He passed away a few years ago. That we got hey, what's up, guys from Twitch?
Hello.
I can't even pronounce his name. What was it? The one song. Anyway, at the end of his solo at the end of that song was pure rock. I can't consider that pop. Just myself. REO was a pop rock, but that he destroyed that solo.
I can't
awesome.
fight this feeling anymore, Travis.
You can't.
I forgot what I
can't-
started fighting for.
We can't touch. Sorry.
Let's just keep on rolling.
That's right. That's it. Keep on rolling. That is the song. All right, I guess I'll start off this time. Usually we start.
Sounds good. I
I'll
like
start
it.
off.
Travis, why don't you go first?
I will. Number 5 was pretty close to REO Speedwagon. I think a little bit softer, but Air Supply.
Yes.
Good man. I
Air
like that.
Supply, man. You talk about the school dances we had back in the day. There was an Air Supply song every time. I went to a middle school, went to Westwood, went to the Coffee County High School. Air Supply songs at every single one of them. That was your slow dance song right there. That was it. So, and now they come on, man. I belt it to the top of my lungs. Everybody in my store hears it.
My mom had a Air Supply Greatest Hits cassette, and I would slip that out of her car every once in a while and take it with me.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong at all. No. So, yeah, Air Supply, man. If y'all ever, most of the people that listen to the show have heard of Air Supply. If you haven't, go listen to Air Supply. You'll probably cry and then want to dance with somebody and write a poem when you're done.
What's up, Anthony Spears? Hello, buddy. I hope all is well your way.
Tooth, what do you got, man?
I'm going to go, my number 5 is Taco.
Taco.
Yeah, putting on the Ritz was really the only big, huge, but still, that was definitely on the pop charts. He was definitely in the pop genre, and
What was it? Dun, 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 dun.
that's close. When you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
Putting on the
Putting
Ritz.
on the Ritz.
I full confession, and it's not about me. Full confession, one of my buddies. That is his all-time favorite song ever.
Yep.
He's put on the Ritz, and he told me this all the while we're driving to Little Rock to go see Metallica. And we listened to Put on the Ritz probably 8 times between Manchester and Little Rock. I'm like, dude, this is not helping.
Do you remember when I had that little black Corolla that I bought from the guy when we worked at 1110? Mm-hmm. And I bought it from the guy that ran the tow truck place?
Yeah.
All right, well, that had a cassette player in it. And I had an old 80s mixtape, and Putting on the Ritz was on it. And I wore it out. Broke the rewind button listening to that
God
song.
dang, boy.
That's funny.
I love that tune.
That's a good one. Bradley, what you got? Number 5.
Man, my number 5, and this is why I kind of prefaced this earlier, but my number 5, this guy's got a string of hits. And I kind of I can jump around if somebody mentions one of mine, but these are folks that I would listen to today. They got a lot of hits, and I would put on their greatest hits right now. My number 5 is Bryan Adams.
Oh,
Woo!
yeah.
Yes,
Love
sir.
Bryan Adams. Still do. He was one of those that it's been a while since I'd thought about him, and I think Summer of '69, his biggest hit, came on the other day, and so I just pulled him upon Apple Music and just hit play. And I forgot
He had a ton of good
how
songs.
many songs he had, and he crept into the '90s. I mean, there were some that I was like, wait a minute, that was popular when I was in 10th grade, or whatever. I was like, wow, this guy, he had them. And but yeah, that's Bryan. And he kind of tried to go. I think there in the '90s, he kind of tried to change his look up a little bit, where he kind of had a little more of a glam look thing going on. I want Brian in denim, all head to toe denim, and a green T-shirt and a guitar. That's where Brian Adams needs to be. That's where he lives in my mind.
Him the boss.
And work boots with the lace-up work boots.
Yes.
He has like the construction boots that he wore.
He always had to have the sleeves rolled up
Yep.
just a little bit, like 50s greaser.
He's kind of a, he was kind of a poor man, or I would say a poor man. He was kind of a teeny bopper's version of Bruce Springsteen. Not quite didn't quite have the depth, but he was a lot more fun than the
Right.
boss.
Jennifer Griffin, she says Tears for Fears.
Yeah.
Good one.
On my
Good
list.
one.
Aw, get out of my head.
Who else?
Wham.
Manuel Williams says Christopher Cross, Ride Like the Wind.
Oh, absolutely. I love
a
some
good one.
Christopher Cross.
That's a very good one.
It was funny. I put a feeler out to Lee, Sammy, Curry. There's about 4 or 5 like-minded buddies that I knew were all stuck at home, and I was like, send me some songs that you're listening to that are just kind of off the beaten path. So I want to put together a coronavirus playlist, just because you all know how we are. We've listened to Metallica 8 billion times.
Yeah.
When you're at home, got an all day long, you're gonna start searching around, and Christopher Cross popped up. Christopher, a lot of yacht rock, as Jimmy calls it,
Yeah.
started popping over. These all of us older 40-somethings, late 30s, early 40s guys just sitting around, just kind of like, little Christopher Cross, little Air Supply,
Yeah.
little Toto, a lot of Toto.
Oh, yeah.
Asia.
Oh man, when we hang out at Tooth Eli's and we get Lady A in charge of being the DJ with Yacht Rock Radio on Spotify. That's our
Man,
go-to.
You really can't beat it. If you're just looking to just kind of chill out, you can't beat it.
It's like the Catalina wine mixer.
Backyard
Absolutely.
karaoke. Backyard karaoke.
And you'll get some good stuff on there that you hadn't thought about. You'll pop an artist will pop up where you're like, oh man, I forgot about that song. And don't they sing this? And before you know it, you're off on their playlist
Yeah.
and you're listening to their.
You're in a wormhole.
But Christopher Cross is one that I got off on that. I same deal. Apple Music, just pulled them up. Sailing. Oh, shoot, I was guilty of sitting on a mower last week and singing Sailing at the top of my lungs.
Oh man. Bull, what you got?
Pet Shop Boys.
Pet Shop
Good one.
Boys. Wow.
I like it.
Yeah. What was it? West End Girls.
In the West End town with dead end walls. The East End boys and the West End girls.
I actually,
done.
Low-key, I love that song.
That is one of my
That's a good
favorite
song.
songs of
Love
all
that
time.
song, man. Love it. Oh man.
Yep. West End Girls. Well, I mean, Pet Shop Boys, and of course, West End Girls. which is
That's a great song.
I
Man.
love it.
Yep.
That's
Love
awesome.
it.
All right. My number 5 is based on one thing and one thing only, pretty much. It's because she's fire ass hot. Belinda Carlisle / Go-Go's.
I got the Go-Go's on my list. Love
She
the Go-Go's.
was hot back in the day, and that's the reason why she's over there. And they actually had some pretty good songs. The Go-Go's did, I thought.
Again, this came up to. This is so funny, but the Go-Go's came up today. Did you know? All right, we're talking about 80s bands. You remember? Okay, Wham, George Michael's band Wham. There's the dark-headed guy. Mm-hmm. All right, George Michael went on to his solo career. The dark-headed guy is married to a Go-Go.
Really?
Me and Lee were watching their behind the music, and she was talking they've owned a farm like over in England or something, and she still tours with the Go-Go's. Well, when George Michael went off to be a big solo star, they never got Wham back together.
Right.
She said he just hangs out on the farm, tends to the animals, and drinks beer.
Man.
But got the life. Married to a Go-Go, drinking beer on the farm. I mean, shoot.
Talk about lottery win. He got it. He got it right there, man.
Yeah.
Dang. All right, Tooth, what about you, buddy?
Paul Simon.
Oh, very good.
Very good.
Come out of left field there with some Paul Simon.
You did.
Look, I was a big fan. I'm not gonna lie. I like some of the Simon and Garfunkel stuff from like the '70s, but I remember in the '80s, like when the Paul Simon, what was the "You Can Call Me Al"
Yes.
with Chevy Chase in the video, and I remember that being huge, and I remember my dad having that, and CDs were just coming out like at the end of the '80s, and so we still had the cassettes, and I just remember listening to that with my dad a lot, and I thought, this has got to be pop rock.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Paul Simon definitely.
I love
rock.
Paul Simon.
Call me
and
Al.
Me and Julio were down by the schoolyard the other day.
That's good stuff, man. Very good. Bradley, what's yours, sir?
A little John Cougar Mellencamp.
Oh man, I'd let you off because I knew you'd do it.
Again, he's another one of those guys you can just put on. I mean, you don't have to. You can pick an album of his and damn near know every song on the album. But if you go to his songs, his hit songs on Apple Music, it goes on forever.
Yes,
and he's another one of those guys. I mean, he's crept on close to the 2000s. I mean, he kept them going, but there's no better than 80s John Mellencamp for me. I love little.
And you can pick. You can be either John Cougar Mellencamp or John Mellencamp in the 80s. You can pick.
Whichever one.
And I actually think he started off as Johnny Cougar.
Yep.
And then when he got his big record deal, he said he wanted to be John Mellencamp. And they made him compromise, and he was John Cougar Mellencamp. But man, Pink Houses, when the walls come crumbling down. I mean, anything that John Mellencamp did in the 80s, I love.
Heck yeah.
Scarecrow.
A reply to James Saldana because
Big Heavy Talking Heads, man.
I'm in love with the Talking Heads.
Talking Heads are great.
Hey,
Brad
Manny Williams,
Slifer.
Dr. Hook.
Oh yeah,
Dr. Hook's good stuff.
A modern band. I'm trying to think of who it was. Recently redid "Home," the Talking Heads song.
Oh,
And
really?
that is a really groovy song anyway. But it was recently redone. I can't remember who did it now.
Psycho Killer. That's one of my all-time favorite songs, period. I just
Yes.
love that song.
That is an awesome
It's a
song.
great song.
You know where I heard that song probably when I was younger. I don't remember when. I knew it. I didn't hear it for years. Riding around with him, he starts playing. He's singing every word to it. I'm like, what is wrong with you? How do you know? Like, have you heard this song? I was like, yeah, when I was 4. I'm 6 years older than you are. Not really, but close. I'm like, how do you know this song?
My dad was a huge Cars fan.
Yeah.
And Bradley's
Yes.
going to be the only person in the room who's going to remember these people because I've asked you other guys. Do you remember the Hooters?
Yes.
Thank you.
What was their one big?
They had like 2 or 3 really big, but one big one, and I couldn't
That's
tell
gonna
you.
drive me nuts. Yes.
Thank you. My dad was a huge fan of theirs as well.
But you were talking the Talking Heads, Brad Slife. I knew Burning Down the House. I mean, that's
Burning
what I
Down the
knew.
House.
And he Brad had a pretty eclectic musical taste as well. He never really dove head first in the hard rock like the rest of us did. He had their greatest hits, and when it would just be me and him together, he would play his stuff, and he put in the Talking Heads. And I started recognizing some of the songs, others I'd never heard, but he sold me on them, and I've been a big fan of theirs ever since.
Heck yeah. Bo.
I'm been debating, but I think I'm gonna go with the Eurythmics.
Good one.
That's
Yeah.
a very good one, sir.
Yeah. So of course, one of the most iconic songs ever, "Sweet Dreams." But then, what's the other one?
The other one.
Here comes the rain.
There's several.
Well, there's several, but
Falling on my head like a memory.
Annie Lennox solo stuff is very good.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to chime in, Bradley. I'm going to steal that from you, and here's why. You mentioned Bryan Adams earlier, and I let that go for a minute, and then he mentioned the Eurythmics just now. So I've told you guys this story 100 times, but Christmas morning, probably 88, 89, I don't know, maybe it might even been 90, but I got Waking Up the Neighbors on cassette.
Yes.
Bryan Adams, and I got Annie Lennox Diva, the solo album, on cassette. And it's one of my most memorable Christmases because of that. You know what I mean? So
Those are both great.
great albums.
Yes,
Great
man,
albums.
Yes, that's good. Isn't it? Is Diva? Which one is that? The one that's got "No More I Love Yous" on it? Which one's got? I love that song though. That's a beautiful song.
I don't know. I really don't know. But because of Annie Lennox Diva, I went back and started really diving into the Eurythmics.
Now, what's
after
the guy's
fact.
name that's in the Eurythmics? Because I don't know his name.
Couldn't tell you.
If you stand right there, I can say, oh, yep, he's in the Eurythmics. But I don't know. I never knew his name.
He wrote "Don't Come Around Here No More" for Tom Petty. I think it's
didn't
one of
know.
the. I think that's
I didn't
one
know
of the,
that either.
If you watch the video, it's all at Alice in Wonderland Takeoff.
Yeah.
He's the guy sitting there smoking the hookah. But that's one of the few songs that Tom Petty had an outside writer on.
Yeah.
He wrote that for
That's a
Tom.
killer
That's
song.
why it's kind of such a weird,
Yeah.
kind of left to center for Tom Petty because that guy wrote it.
Dave Stewart.
There you go. That's it.
Dave Stewart.
That's it.
Excellent, Bull. An excellent choice, Bull. The Eurythmics, excellent choice.
Yeah, I enjoy him. But then I'm excited about my next one because it's a very special part of my growings up.
You're growing pains.
Travis, what's your next one?
Man, my number 3 should be a little higher, but my two, number 1 and 2 is a little special to me. But Number 3 is Duran Duran. Hunger Like the Wolf is one of my all-time favorite songs. I knew it when I was a kid, or younger. I wasn't exactly a kid when it came out, but that's just a killer video. Love that video. Love that song. To me, Duran Duran was it was edgy pop rock. You know what I mean? They were like, oh yeah, they're pop, but they look like they could probably beat you up. Then the next picture, nope, they can't beat me up. There's no way. And then the next one, like, oh yeah, dude looks like he's a badass.
And didn't they kind of branch into the '90s with like "Ordinary World"?
Oh,
Wasn't
yeah.
that great? And that was an excellent song.
Yeah. So I think, and they had, I guess, a lot of inner turmoil with them. I think they could have been.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were huge.
Oh, they were like one of the biggest bands in the world at one time. They were the band.
I think they could have had that long. To me, it seemed like they could have had that long stay. Like, I don't want to say like the Stones, but
Yeah.
a good 15,
They're
20, 30
talented.
years.
They had talent. They
Yeah.
weren't just kind of a thrown together pop band.
Yeah.
All those guys could play.
Yeah.
But Richie and Gretchen, there's a big group of us that went and saw Duran Duran at Starwood, and this was in the 2000s. They'd kind of gotten back together, did a little reunion tour, and we were running late. Richie and Gretchen there's a big group that had already gotten in, and my group was running behind them. When we got there, so few people had showed up that they shut down the box office. And so when we got there, we couldn't buy tickets to get in. And we could hear Duran Duran play, and the security guy came up and was like, we want to be in there. So we want to buy a ticket and come in. He goes, well, they've shut the box office down, so I can't get someone up here to sell you tickets. And we were like, well, we're here. We have money. And he just looked around. He said, come on. He just opened the gate and let us in so we could see Duran Duran for free.
Heck yeah, that's a win.
That is a win. Good job.
But it kind of sucked because there wasn't a big crowd there. I was kind of hoping there'd be a big outpouring of love for some Duran Duran. And the folks that were there had a big time. But,
Girls on Film.
Yep.
It's one of my favorites.
That's a good one. All right, Tooth.
Yeah, buddy. I'm trying not to stay too on the beaten path. Like, I'm not saying Madonna and Cyndi Lauper.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Michael Jackson and Prince circled over here. So that's a
But
given.
those are
given.
givens.
Yeah,
so
Yeah, I didn't even put those down at
So
all.
I'm
I wrote them down just because, obviously, I was like, this is the ones that don't know what everyone. Madonna's another one. It's like, I've got them over here because everyone knows that they're the keys of the 80s.
So I went more with, instead of going with like maybe necessarily bands that made it, like Duran Duran, who stood up to the test of time a lot more than some of the people I'm naming. I just went kind of off the beaten path, but still 80s pop. So my next one's Depeche Mode.
That's a good one.
That's very good.
Yes, I was right there with you. I loved.
Yes.
They were so unique at the time.
Absolutely.
I mean, just
they were outside
completely.
the box, and still it was, I don't know, it was really groovy. Personal Jesus, the original.
yeah.
Yep.
That's a killer.
The cover, Marilyn Manson's cover, is amazing, but the original is worth listening to.
And they stayed relevant into the 90s. I mean, a lot of the grunge and alternative, they were big fans of Depeche Mode. And Depeche Mode, I can remember going down to Chattanooga and hanging out with Sammy and like his group, which they were way more into a lot of the alternative stuff than I was. But Depeche Mode was still a big deal to those college kids. They were still very relevant.
Well, it was something to. It was definitely something to burn to, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just I'm thinking of things that I know, like they stand out. When I think of that Depeche Mode, I can think of a couple songs and times exactly in life.
100%.
You know? So I'm
Without a
picking
doubt.
stuff like that tonight, but I don't know. Good choice.
Absolutely.
I'm not going that far off the beaten path. My next one's Lionel Richie.
Oh yeah. Well,
80s Lionel Richie. I mean, I loved him in his early work with the Commodores, which I went back and learned. But of course, my mom and dad were big Motown fans, so I knew the Commodores. But then this guy Lionel Richie, who I got to do, and my dad was like, he's the guy that. Hell, son, he's this guy over here.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh,
Commodore.
Lionel Richie was in the Commodores. Okay, cool. But
Hey, stud row.
love me some Lionel Richie. Same deal. All the hits that he had, plus.
as a
Again,
writer,
becoming a music buff later and realizing all the songs that he wrote for other people was what is impressive. But again, I can just listen to Lionel Richie's 80s hits all day long.
When he was at Bonnaroo, probably 5 years ago or so, he sat on stage at the piano and a bottle of wine, poured him a couple glasses, and he'd play, I don't know, maybe half a song. And you're like, oh my God. And then he'd stop, drink wine, he'd tell a story about the song. That was one of my most favorite Bonnaroo performances ever because it was just
Yeah.
middle of the, well, it was the afternoon. You know, it was hot. Lionel Richie's on stage piano, drinking some wine, and just telling stories and singing these songs. Like, man, it was awesome, awesome.
Yes.
And he put out an album. Well, he probably put out more than one, but like in the '90s, I just remember there was one. This was kind of like after you were like, Lionel Richie, he's an '80s guy.
Yeah.
But he has a song called "I Don't Want to Lose You Now" that came out in the '90s, and I looked that up the other day. That is a great song. It is just, it's straight up Lionel Richie all the way, but it's a great song. But yeah, that's my number 3. I love me some Lionel Richie.
He's got a great gift, though, to write amazing songs. Gosh.
Well, he wrote "We Are the World."
Oh, man.
I mean, that's phenomenal. That alone. I wrote "We Are the World." That and "Dancing on the Ceiling."
Yeah. Enough said.
Bull?
Again, it's difficult because I like to go into the obscure, but I'm going with Morris Day and the Time.
Worst day in the time.
I mean, once again, the whole thing that was happening out of Minnesota, just how they were breaking down, and just his as a pop artist, and just the way that the presence, this love Mary, yeah.
And they were awesome in Purple Rain.
Jerome.
Although apparently, allegedly, he was very difficult to work with. There was only one person in that movie that was an actual actor. Now he played Prince's dad. But Morris Day was so jacked up on alcohol and drugs they had to drag him out of his trailer to do every scene.
Really?
Like he was just blitzed out of his mind.
It's like when we try to get you up for work.
Right. Wait. Next
episode.
caller. Oh, we don't do callers.
And he was
no callers.
And Morris Day did a phenomenal job in The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. as the
Yes.
producer.
Yeah. And when I was talking about that at work, that came up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That I was like, how did? And the person, no, it was Paul. Paul would know. But I was like, like 3 people on Earth know that, and you're one of them now. So, yeah, it was and that was just how they were portrayed in the movie when it was on stage. They looked like it had been a fun concert. And then,
Yeah.
of course, Jay and Silent Bob kind of brought them back to the forefront, and Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back when
Yep.
they were in that.
Morris Day in the
Time, Jungle Love. Ooh.
Look, Jennifer Griffin West up here. Till Tuesday was my number 1, but now I have to change it.
You
Voices
don't
carry.
have to.
Voices, I do have to because I've got that kind of knowledge. But Voices Carry is one of my favorite all-time songs.
Love that song. I actually never heard that song till maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I absolutely love it.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I found some crazy mixtape of my uncle's. Like it was one of those you ordered, but it was a mix of the '80s top hits, but it came out in the '80s, and that was the first time I'd heard it. And dude, I wore that out. Like you couldn't rewind that song anymore. It was over.
Yeah.
That and Tears. One side had "Everybody Wants to Rule the World" from Tears for Fears, and the other side had "Voices Carry" from Till Tuesday. And I just those 2 songs. Didn't care about the rest of it.
Heck yeah.
Well, I mean, what Silent Jane or Silent Bob and Jay and Silent Bob they did had the but I mean I absolutely loved where Bruno Mars, with that the last I can't remember one of his last hits, but that was members of Morris Day and the Time in there. Like that entire song was a tip of the hat to them. Mark Ronson, made that track. Oh gosh, I'll pull it up in a minute to reference it, but
Yes.
but whenever you think about it, and then you go like, oh my gosh, like that is a 100% more stay in the time. Jack. All right, so on to you, Travis.
Travis, what's your next one? Is it number 2?
My number 2, I've changed it. I wrote down somebody else, and I've changed my mind. I'm going to go with Phil Collins / Genesis.
Heck
Damn
yeah.
you took my number 2.
Ah,
That's a good
It's
pick.
all right,
That's an
though.
awesome pick. That is awesome.
I had Kenny Loggins as number 2
That makes room for somebody.
because
That's a good pick.
Yeah, because
Huge.
every huge. But
Danger
Phil
zone.
Collins,
Danger zone.
and Genesis, of course, the famous drum line. The everybody knows that, and their songs, coming in there tonight. I mean, that song will give you some chills.
I've
Studio.
sang Against All Odds in my car alone more times than any other guilty pleasure.
Probably too. Probably just belting it out loud as you can.
Oh yes, now take a look at me now,
Yeah.
as loud as I can.
Oh my God, that is a great song.
Oh, it is a great
oh
song.
my
That is a
God.
tearjerker and a
Yes,
half right
it
there.
Oh yeah, but all of his stuff, man. Even that. What didn't he do a song for like the Lion King or something?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's an awesome song.
Well, I had Phil Collins' greatest hits, and it was 2 discs. I mean, it came. And this is not Phil Collins and Genesis.
It's just
It was
Phil Collins.
Collins' greatest hits, and it was a double disc.
That is he's
Little old short, bald-headed man
Yeah.
too. I mean, he is not your typical pop star. That's
No.
talent.
The only thing about him is the way he walks.
When you're unassuming, yeah. When you're unassuming,
I went with a little Genesis comeback right there. Huh?
did.
I can't dance. Yeah.
It was a good job too. I like that. I like it a lot.
Thanks.
What's your number 2?
So, you guys may or may not remember a song called "Send Me an Angel" by a band called Real Life.
yes.
Oh yeah.
One of my all-time favorite songs,
Great
also,
video, too.
and that video is crazy great.
Made the movie Rad.
Oh, I forgot that was in the movie Rad.
Remember the bike dance scene? Send me an
Send
angel.
me an angel. It's just a groovy tune, man.
Yep.
And I was at a battle of the bands in like the early 2000s, and I don't know what the band was, couldn't tell you now, but they did a cover and kind of heavied it up. And it's already kind of got a
Yeah.
dark, but dude, I mean, I was like, oh my God, like, this is bad. Somebody really should do this, like Slipknot or just heavy, something
I like
heavy.
that.
It was
That's
really
cool.
cool. Yeah.
That's a good band. Man, I remember as soon as you said that, I was like, I remember that video. That was
Oh.
a cool video. Remember, was it Friday night videos? Or there was a Channel 4. It was Friday or Saturday night. They had Friday night's main event, but then another week they would have Friday night videos or Saturday night videos, and it was just from midnight to 1 o'clock. They showed music videos. So for all of us country kids that didn't get MTV, you could sit up and that. But I always remember that was one video that stuck out. I was always hoping they'd play that.
Heck yeah. What about you, Brad? What's your number to you?
Well, let's see. He took Phil Collins, so I'm going to put. Golly, this is a tough one because I've got 3 that were battling out for the top 2 spots. I'm going to go. Golly, I'm just going to say Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
Hall & Oates?
Yep. Yep.
That's. I mean, again, another one of those bands. To this day, I listen to Hall & Oates, especially with my kids. Zachary loves Man Eater. He has no clue what that song's about, but he loves it. Hey, they got so many good songs. Sarah Smiles. Gosh, I'm not even going to start listing them all off.
Yeah,
There's
bro, you
just
can't.
so
That's-
many good ones.
That is Eli Kidder's one of his all-time favorite bands. If we're in the backyard doing backyard karaoke at his house, it's a Hall & Oates night. Hall & Oates, Brooks and Dunn. That's what we're listening to if Eli's in charge. And I'm not even mad about it.
And and Daryl Hall has got a show called was it Live at Hall's House or Live from Daryl's House or
Yep,
something like that?
Daryl's house.
Daryl's
Daryl's
house.
house.
And man, he gets some good folks on
Yes,
there.
he
And they play
does.
some good music. But he comes from Stern a lot and plays old hits, new stuff. He put out a solo album, and there's a couple of good songs on his solo album, which I think it came out in the 90s.
Right.
But he's a really good musician. But they're a great band. I love that band.
I didn't know he did that show. I'll check it out.
You can be YouTube. You can get it on YouTube. And see
On the
all of
YouTube?
all the episodes.
Yep, I took your pick there, Beth. Jennifer Griffin West, Don Henley,
Yes.
Boys of Summer, Dirty Laundry, Glenn Fry, The Heat Is On. Glenn Fry and Don Henley had some awesome solo stuff. That is for dang sure. So
Smuggler's Blues.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He was on Miami Vice. That alone
He
solidifies.
was.
Glenn Fry and my boy, the coolest show ever. The
Yeah.
guy in one of the coolest bands ever.
That's exactly right. Bull, Chew.
Again, difficult, but I'm just trying to. It's purely because of one song, and it's Footloose. But Kenny Loggins.
All right.
Yeah, and it that's because I don't know why, but still to this day, like I don't know if it's Kevin Bacon or if it's the song Footloose, but I just want to go there. I want to go there, and thank you, Tooth, for talking about that the song you just did because I didn't know who sung that, the Send Me an Angel. But like, Rad is one of my favorite movies of all time. because I saw that and I wanted to be a BMX biker like everybody else did. But that Send Me an Angel was just absolutely awesome. But Kenny Loggins is who I'm going with, and the Bruno Mars song was Uptown Funk.
Gonna give it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you'll notice in the video, there's some members of Morris Day and the Time in it.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. So, but that's yeah. So, anyway, yeah. So it was Uptown Funk. On to you, Travis. On to you.
Oh, I thought you were going to sing Uptown Funk.
Uptown Funk you up. Uptown Funk you up.
Okay, that's enough. My number one has been said on the feed 8,000 times.
Uptown
Wait,
Funk you
nope,
up.
you're done.
Uptown Funk you up.
Remember we said somebody's going to say something stupid?
99 Red Balloons, Jennifer West. Love that song.
Yeah.
He just randomly said 99 red balloons.
It's 99 love balloons.
Have you heard the German version of that?
I
Yeah.
have.
Weird.
They'll play that sometimes. If you've been listening to the 80s station, sometimes you'll get the 99 red balloons, sometimes you get the 99 left balloons.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you never know which one you're going to get. 'Cause you'll hear the music, it just starts, and you're like, dun, 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 and then she starts singing in German, you're like, oh, okay,
Oh,
I can't do that.
It's like the Don't Cry alternate lyrics. I don't know
Yep.
the words. Turn it. I don't like it when they do that to me. Big Germ says if you have Rad on VHS, it's worth like $200.
Are you serious?
That's what he says.
Well, I believe it. That's an awesome movie.
Yeah.
Classic.
Um,
Almost as good as Gleam in the Cube. Almost.
Yeah. Modern English Met with You. She also that's a good too. I like Modern
It
English.
is a good one.
My number one.
Somebody mentioned the outfield earlier.
I
too.
saw that, and it really upset me, so I have to take it off my number one.
Barry, dude, I'm telling you, Barry Watkins and Emmanuel, they have been throwing out some gems tonight on the feed. I mean, look at her. Scott Solomon Thompson twins.
Come on.
That's good. My number one's been said on the feed a bunch of times, but
Berlin.
I did. We met the guitar player for Berlin.
I'm telling you. That happened.
But Wham, George Michael.
Come on.
There you go.
Wake me up before you go.
Don't even hanging on like a yo-yo.
Yep.
If you don't like Wham and George Michael, we're just not friends anymore.
Can't be friends.
Yeah.
And I'm coming to appreciate Wham more that I'm old. I always liked George Michael. You know, even before, when he came out, I didn't care. His songs kick ass. All his songs are great. I think he transcended. He did a really good job. He still stayed pop, I think, pop rock, but he still stayed in that genre, and he completely changed his image from Wham to what he was with the biker, Gotta Have Faith video, where he had the leather and the earring and the slick back hair and the sunglasses on, the Ray-Bans. He totally changed his image, but he still stayed pop and sold a blue million records, man.
What was the song that he had that was, it was basically about sex.
I want your
I want your sex.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone knows I work at a bank now. They play music throughout the day, and just every so often a song will come on, and they got the music turned down just low enough that even if it's slightly inappropriate, no one really picks up on it. We were having a really busy day one day, and I'm helping an older gentleman with his transaction. And I can hear that I Want Your Sex is coming out of the speaker above me. But we're so busy that no one can really hear it, but I can tell. I know my ears perked up. I was like, oh, crap. And so I'm taking care of this stuff for this guy. And, no one really notices because we're so busy. And you know how you have those moments where, you're right in the eye of the storm and everything just gets quiet just for no reason. Everyone stops all of a sudden. It just got quiet, just really quiet. All of a sudden, about the time George Michael starts hollering, "Have sex with me," and this guy looks up at me, and I look up at him, and we both look back down like we're just going to ignore this. And then when he finally stopped that, then I looked back up and was able to make contact again. But I was like, I can't look at this old guy with George Michael singing, screaming, "Have sex with me" in the speaker above my head.
That's good times.
That is.
I wish I'd have been there for that.
Like I said, George Michael has been mentioned hundreds of times. Beth Barnes, Jeff Healey, Angel Eyes. Can't go wrong with that one. I'm trying to find Jennifer Griffin. Where'd she go? Gerard McMahon, Cry Little Sister, The Lost Boys.
Excellent.
Yes.
That was my number number one or number two favorite soundtrack.
Yep.
That was one of the big reasons why.
Yeah, that's a very good. That's one of my daughter's favorite soundtracks now. By the way, is Lost Boys. loves that movie.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah, Lindsey Vonn. We can't forget Steve Winwood and Bruce Hornsby. Bruce Hornsby and the Range, man, they were awesome back in the day.
Yes.
That's right, Gary. Journey was the band of the 80s. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were good.
Real good. Real good.
They good. They both good.
both good.
Yeah. Tooth.
Right said Fred up there. I'm too sexy for my
Yeah, that
body.
was early 90s, though.
You're asking me what my number one is?
I am.
UB40.
UB40.
Y'all remember Red Red Wine?
Oh,
Heck
yeah.
yeah, remember Red
Oh,
Wine?
man, I remember being 8 years old on the playground, talking about me and Michael Crowder just singing Red Red Wine while we was pushing each other in the swing set.
There was their cover of "I Can't Help Falling in Love with You."
Excellent
yes.
cover.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent cover. Excellent. Yeah, man, that's all I can say. I remember singing Red Red Wine from the time I was 8 on. Just love that tune.
That's a good one.
And as Bradley mentioned, their cover of "Can't Help Falling in Love with You" was excellent.
Oh yeah, I enjoy it. Oh, the St. Elmo's Fire soundtrack.
good one, Ain't Dula.
Yes, Man in Motion, John Parr.
Oh, that's a good soundtrack.
Yes.
And that wasn't even mentioned on the soundtrack episode. I don't
Oh,
think.
what? I don't. Yeah, I kind of remember.
I don't think from us,
somebody-
though. I mean,
no.
Yeah, from us, I don't think
The
it was.
theme song to St. Elmo's Fire. That's great.
I'll-
I can put that on and let that play.
I
No
seriously
lyrics.
repeat that song almost all day long and be fine
I
with
mean,
it.
isn't it called St. Elmo's Fire?
Yes.
I thought so.
What's the name of that song?
St. Elmo's Fire.
I thought so.
The theme song.
Bradley.
Number one. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna do it. It's a tie. It's the Cars and Huey Lewis and the News. I can't pick one over the other.
They're both excellent, so we'll take them both.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer there.
That's the Cars gets just a step up simply because Nicholas Ramsey owns the Cars' greatest hits. He's that
Wow.
big of a fan that he went and bought that himself because I played.
Well,
them
his
so
best
much.
friend's girl took the other one
That's right. But I played him so much, he went and bought it. He went and bought that
when he
CD.
was driving her home. Nobody knew who was going to drive her home, and he took her home, and then she took his CD.
You do this all night, couldn't you?
Can't I love the Cars, dude. I was a big fan. Look, Rick Ocasek is a goofy looking guy, and I really something attracted me to that band because he was kind of different looking, you know.
And
He dressed in the black, but he looked eclectic.
and he was a producer and produced a lot of like punk and alternative bands. Like he was a respected producer away from the Cars.
What was the other song that he didn't sing besides the Drive You Home
Besides
song?
Drive?
It doesn't.
I don't know.
I don't want to silence it out while we think about it.
Yeah.
But there is another one that was a big hit that he also sang. Anyway.
Oh, I'd think of that. I don't want to. Like I said, I don't want to silence the show out.
You're number one. Look, Huey Lewis in the News, man. Tell me that they put out. It's like they had a hit song every other month.
Yes.
It was ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
That's what they said when he wrote when they demoed the album Sports. There was like one of Huey's producer music friends just listened to it, and he said, "Well, I don't even know where to begin." He goes, "This is going to be the biggest album probably of the decade." He goes, "Every song on here's a number one hit." And then you listen to the album Sports, and every song on there is a number one hit. I think Jacob's Ladder is the only one that didn't go to number one, and it was like number 2 or number 3 on the charts.
Yeah, but it's hip to be square, so it's cool.
Yeah. And it had that really weird looking guy with his slick back hair that always wore the sunglasses.
Yeah.
He was just a cool looking guy. You got old Happy Huey over here, then this big mortician looking guy standing next to him playing the saxophone.
And
I always picture the scene from American Psycho.
Yep.
Where he's
Yes.
Where he's breaking it down.
breaking it down.
Yes, sir. And
Right
it
before he kills
Right before he has to
Jared
take
Leto.
back some videotapes. I got to return some videotapes. Sorry.
his their videos were awesome too.
Oh, yeah.
I Want a New Drug. That's one of my favorite videos ever. I love that video.
Was it If This Is It when they're all buried on the beach?
Please let me know. You're a Big Germ, Stray Cats, man. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
They had some good videos, too.
They did.
They weren't afraid to have the ladies dancing around in their videos.
That's right. Dang, Luke Hendricks, you just come up with a whole list, man.
Billy Squire. We need to add Billy Squire to somebody's list.
Yeah.
Peter Gabriel's I've got him over here. That's a great honorable mention.
Oh,
Peter
yeah.
Gabriel's
Oh my
awesome.
gosh, yes. Love Peter Gabriel.
Wants to shock the monkey.
Talk about some videos.
You
Yes.
talk about
yes.
crazy videos.
Sledgehammer. That was,
Sledgehammer.
And we were talking at work the other day about Peter Gabriel. If that and this is what Kent said to me. Kent's 56, 57 years old. He said if that and I agreed with him 100%. If that video was made today, it would be a #1 video. That video could stand the test of time. It was so far ahead of its time back when it came out. You're like, oh my God. Well, now we're kind of like, man, that's an awesome video. Even if it came out tomorrow, we'll be like, oh my God, have y'all seen this video?
I feel like bands like Tool and some of their early claymation videos took from Peter Gabriel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever watched like some of his early like Genesis performances? I mean, he was an out there dude. Anyway, I mean, they were again considered like a prog rock band when he was the singer, and then he kind of reinvented himself into more of the kind of the pop star in the '80s. But he was all about dressing up on stage in just these weird Maynard James Keenan type outfits when he was in Genesis.
It's weird.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of time.
Oh, my watch wasn't turned on. This smartwatch, I'm new to it and I don't know what I'm doing.
It's a smart watch.
Thank you. What? Bull,
Yep.
what you got?
Man, of course, we'll go. We got plenty of time to go over honorable mentions, and of course the ones that everybody knows. But I'm gonna go for it's been said in the comments a bunch, but Tears for Fears, and I've got a side by side which is In Excess, and so yeah, so those are my two. But Tears for Fears, like I can't say how many of their songs that I just I can listen to them back to back to back and over and over and over again, and. Oh my gosh! Just I can't. And then whenever is it ordinary? I can't remember the name, but whenever the oh my gosh, here we go again with references. Anyway, on to you, Travis. Yay!
Somebody get Bull out of here.
Oh, I forgot he was still there.
Yep.
I got my honorable mention here. Most of them we've already said. Of course, like Brad said, we didn't do Michael Jackson, Madonna, Prince because we knew that's obvious. They were the kings of the '80s. The Bangles,
Yes.
they were hot. I mean,
Susanna Hoff.
oh son.
It's just another Manic Monday in my book.
I'll get one more. Let you guys talk. But it was mentioned several times. But Billy Joel.
Oh,
Yes,
gosh.
80s
Absolutely.
Billy Joel.
Uptown
is great.
Girl.
Man,
yeah.
we didn't start the fire.
Yep.
I mean, that's
Did we? I'm not
Was that-
arguing.
no, that was-
I think
that
that
was
was
nice.
early '90s.
Yeah, you're right. That was
I
early
really do
90s.
believe that was his early '90s stuff.
still a killer song.
Absolutely, he had plenty of uptown
But
poppy
Innocent Man,
hits.
but that Innocent Man, that album is just classic '80s. I mean, that's when he kind of stepped away from the piano a little bit and went a different route, and that's a good album.
It's an excellent album. I agree.
Who you got some honorable mention?
I see. I'm gonna go with. I had it, and then you asked me, and then I lost it.
What a jerk!
I mean, that's what kind of stuff you put me through, Travis.
I know.
I mean, everybody. I've seen plenty of people talk about Aha on here,
Yes.
which is another big favorite of mine. I remember my honorable mention was going to be, guys. The '80s was when David Lee Roth decided to do some solo stuff, and
Yep.
all I know is I wish they all could be California girls.
Hey, he's just a gigolo, man.
He was just a gigolo. Life went on without him.
How hot was that video?
Dude, I ain't got nobody cares for me, nobody. I love David Lee Roth.
Man.
Bibbidi bop, bibbidi bop, bibbidi bop.
I'm gonna live it's I'm gonna live scoobily doobily, I'm gonna live scoobily bop. That's what it is. I memorized it, I promise. I looked it up.
right before you got here, wasn't it?
No, I mean it's like 6 years ago. I memorized that. Yeah, good times. But yeah, that's my honorable mention.
That's a good one, man.
It's
David
David Lee
Roth.
Roth.
Yeah.
He was huge in the '80s.
That dude had fun, man.
He had a lot of fun.
The '80s were made for him.
I
yeah.
agree.
I mean, absolutely.
agree.
It's the guy did a lot of wrong and could do no wrong in the '80s.
And Tony, how do you say Tony Basil? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey Mickey, you're so
Yeah.
fine. She was, a little one-hit wonder action. So those are my honorable mentions.
Yeah, but my God, that song got played for years. I mean, still does.
Forever.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Forever. Devo's an excellent mention.
Yes.
I'd like to whip that out real quick.
Devo is an excellent mention.
See what you did there.
I
That was a fun video too.
excellent video. The little hats
Yeah.
and the steps and
Yeah, it was.
The tights like they were wrestlers, but they weren't built like wrestlers at all.
No, not at all. Nice try, though, baby. Well, Bradley, what's some of your honorable mentions?
Oh, let's see. Billy Ocean, man.
Oh, yeah. He's on mine.
Yep.
If we would have done 10, I love Billy Ocean. The Tubes, One in a Million Girls.
Oh, wow.
She's a beauty. That's the only song by theirs I know, but that's a classic song. And got to give them some love. We've already mentioned
Why would I lie?
Billy Idol, man. That's one that, I mean, he was...
I feel like he was. Yeah, you're right. He was pop, but I feel like he was
Yeah.
on the verge of hardcore.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, he could...
Eyes Without a Face, though. Oh,
Good song.
And
And then, you know, again, of course, you know, he crept into the 90s, little Moni Moni. That was,
Billy Idol.
but yeah, Billy Idol. Let's see, we already mentioned the Bangles.
I'll go out and
Billy
dance
Idol.
with myself, listen to Billy Idol. Huh?
It does. Cyndi Lauper, Culture Club.
Yeah, I was going to say Culture Club, Boy George.
Boy George did a little solo stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, he
I
won
seen
an
a-
Oscar. Billy Boy George has an Oscar for the song "Crying Game."
But he don't-
Wow.
Yeah.
I seen a meme today. It had comma, chameleon. I just lost it right there. I was like, I don't know who made this, but you're a genius. That was great.
Bananarama, anybody say that?
Oh, yeah. No, but I got Kajagoogoo on my list.
There you go.
Good choice.
Yeah, love Kajagoogoo. Bull, what do you got? You got any honorable mentions?
Oh man, of course you know the regulars. You know, once again the King. You know, Jackson, and then David Bowie, Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Feel for you.
Aha. I mean, once again, you know, talking about those great ones. My gosh. I don't. Nope. Yep, that's what I got.
Rick
That's what you got?
Springfield. How did we not mention him?
Yeah.
You know, I Rick Springfield and interesting. So Rick Springfield and Adams, Ryan Adams.
Brian Adams.
Well, there's a Ryan Adams
There
too,
is a
though.
Ryan
Yeah.
Adams.
So every time people, I thought people were just like, this dummy doesn't know his real name's Bruce Springfield. It was sort of the same thing every time. People would be like, I'm going to see Ryan Adams. I'm like, you mean Brian Adams?
Mm-hmm.
Dummy, don't even know who you're going to see.
What even happened just now?
But that dude, Ryan
Tim
Adams,
Robbins.
who is still pretty relevant, he had somebody. He played the Ryman Auditorium a few years back and had a drunk guy kicked out because he kept screaming, "Play Summer of '69," and he stopped his show and had security throw the guy out.
Sure.
Wow.
Jeff Darman, Man at Work.
Oh, Adam Ant.
yeah.
Adam
Man.
Ant.
Good one, Doug.
Yes. Don't drink, don't smoke.
What do you do? Don't drink, don't smoke.
I got a couple more, and then I got a question.
Wait, I got another one. Who sung?
Of course you do.
Who sung "Safety Dance"?
Men Without Hats.
There you go.
Men Without Hats. There we go. That's the one that I wanted to bring up because Amy Sellers. You know, you talk about childhood. It didn't matter what was going on, where we were headed, whatever was going on. Safety Dance either had to be played every single evening, or any time that it come on, the entire evening shifted into a different direction. So, Safety Dance is one of those songs that obviously takes you there.
Well, that's just Sellers. You got to be careful with that. ABBA, that's a good one. That was relevant in the 80s. I got a question I want to ask everybody when we get into all the honorable mentions. I had a few more Cool in the Gang.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
This one, she started in the 70s, but if she's not been performing for a while, she's been very, very sick, can't. Lena Ronstadt. That
Yep.
chick was fire.
Kim Carnes.
Man, I saw her on a list today somewhere.
She had Betty Davis eyes.
Gloria Estefan.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
ever banged.
Oh,
Man,
Yep.
she was huge.
Big.
I mean,
Yep.
Really big.
Yeah.
huge in there. I mean, she
Yes.
from what 80s, 86 till heck into the early 90s. She was very relevant. you
And
know?
aged very well.
Yes, I
Still
agree with
smoking.
that. Who else? I can't remember. Right, Paul Abdul.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
She was towards the end. She was like 89-ish, I
Yep.
think.
Oh, Sammy, he would hate me for telling this, but I'm going to tell it. He had a Paul Abdul poster in his room when we were in high school.
That's right.
This
As
Because
he should
opposites
have.
attract.
That's
I mean,
right.
come on.
Oh, groovy coming in. Eddie Grant, Electric
Electric Avenue.
Yes, good
Oh
song.
my God,
Man.
yes.
And his song for "Romancing the Stone" was a great song. That was
Yes,
a
I
really
agree.
good song. Hey, let's not forget El DeBarge. Feel the beat of the rhythm of the night, folks.
It's a good tune. Debbie Gibson.
Yes.
Yes.
And Tiffany.
And
You can't say one without the other.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeff Dameron, Samantha Fox, absolutely. Let's see, I had one more. I thought
I
Nope.
know her more from her posters than her songs. She was the only pop star they allowed at like Metal Edge in the poster section.
But yeah, that was man. That's a good list, man. A lot of good ones on the feed in that.
A lot of great mentions on the
Yes.
feed.
God, Eddie
absolutely.
Grant, that's a good one. I really like Electric Avenue and Romancing the Stone.
All right, the question I want to ask you guys, of everybody that we've named tonight, it don't have to be on your list. It may not even be on anybody on the feed or anything. I'll start with you, Tooth. Any of these bands, artists, singers we've mentioned tonight, who would you want to see in concert? Back in the day, in their prime, in the 80s when they were at the top of their game, of all of them, give me one. I know, go to the head question.
No, hold on, real quick. Are we still excluding like the major like Michael Jackson?
Yeah, let's just look. Michael,
thank you.
Michael,
Because I was going to say that's going to make it hard for me.
Michael, Whitney, Madonna,
Okay.
Prince. We
They're
get,
out.
I mean,
got you.
Then I would go see. You're making this really difficult. But
Sheila
I feel
E.
like
Yeah, good one, Amy.
I feel like I would win.
I mean, it really is a hard question.
I would probably say Tears for Fears.
Cheers for Fears.
Tears for Fears would be my pick because they are Depeche Mode because they were kind of the same. They were a little outside the box. They weren't right in the mainstream.
Right.
Even though they fell with some songs in the mainstream, I would say Tears for Fears. That'd be
for
my
Fears.
choice.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be a good show, and it would probably be a good time with the fans in that show. It would be, that'd just be an excellent show right there, for sure.
Heck yeah.
What you got,
How about
Bradley?
you, Brad?
Gosh, that's tough.
Well, we asked the hardy-hitting questions here
That's
on the Everyday
really
Joke Show.
tough.
Davey Stout says David Lee Roth.
I
for him.
almost said that. I almost did.
Man, good Lord, I got to pick one.
One.
I'm going to say Huey Lewis in the News because I think it'd be fun. That would just be a
Absolutely.
fun show.
Yeah, that would
Just
probably.
good times.
You know what? Change mine. It'd be Huey Lewis.
Lewis.
Me and Derek are going to see Huey
Absolutely.
Lewis in the News.
That would be a great show.
And several people have mentioned that they saw him in concert and said it was just great. But I agree with you. In the 80s, when he was at the top, the apex of their career, I guarantee you that was some of the best times you'd ever have in your life.
yeah.
Because you would know every word to every
Every
single
song.
song.
And he never, I mean, they had their ballads, but they never had like any really serious songs. They were never trying to. A lot of artists, and I give them credit for that. They would all have their one political song or something.
Yeah.
They were trying to make a point, and that's cool. Huey never had that. It was all good time, upbeat songs, or
power of
or
love.
really love ballads. Not even there weren't even any really sad songs.
Right.
It was just kind of sing that to your girl, even if this is it. It never said this is it. If this is it, it was all.
If this is it,
Yeah, just good times.
please tell me, girl. I love it.
Well, what would yours be?
This is for a reason to just see like women rocking out, but I believe it would be Pat Benatar.
Heck yeah.
That's a good one.
I don't
I
know.
like that.
Because
Buddy, I'd roll with you on that one.
I think it would be unique because, think about, you had like Cyndi Lauper and Madonna and all that, and they were just girls just want to have fun. And then you got Pat Benatar there that, love is a battlefield, and she's.
I can't believe no one's tried to get her and Joan Jett and Lita Ford to tour together. Lita Ford could open it up, then Joan Jett, then Pat Benatar headlines. I mean, that's a show I'd line up for. I'd go to that one.
Absolutely. I'd wait in line for tickets for that
Yeah.
bad boy. No doubt.
So I think it would be fun to be to be right there and just watch all the women in it's back then because they would have their spiked dog collars on and ripped spandex, you know what I'm saying, for no reason at all. So yeah, I think it'd be cool to see that environment.
Jimmy Newton said that Huey Lewis and News makes him want to go back in time.
Let's see what he did.
Joan Jett, absolutely. However, I feel like everything she did was a cover.
Yeah.
I mean, I
She
don't
killed
know.
it though.
Crimson and Clover, my favorite version of that song ever is her version.
I guess mine. Wow, this is. I should have thought this through for you.
It was your question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I should have thought of my answer before I asked you guys, but
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh man. Phew. I think Duran Duran. I think that would.
There you go. That'd be a good one.
That would be that or and John Cougar. I never got to see him though.
Yeah. And you know, if you went
But-
to saw Duran Duran at the height of their powers, you got a lot of nice looking ladies in the audience.
Oh yeah.
Yo, and I just got to bring it up because Jennifer Griffin West says it, but Kylie Minogue
Yes.
still bump Kylie to this day. Me and Jane Ellen, we were bumping that. I just can't get you out of my head, even though that was in the 99 2000. But Kylie was a beast, and she wasn't but like 4'1".
James Armstrong mentioned you too. They're kind of up there with Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
and Prince.
I
It's
feel
kinda,
like
I mean,
that.
they're-
Yeah.
and
Joshua Tree owned.
Yeah, and you too is still pretty relevant today. I mean, they still have stadiums now
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
tour. They're still very
Yeah,
relevant.
they played, Joshua Tree. They played it in its entirety at Bonnaroo a couple years ago. It's pretty dang cool. It's cool just to see U2, and that's one of their, to me, that's their best album. What was one before that one?
Sunday, Bloody Sunday.
That was a really good one.
I also noticed several folks have thrown out like White Snake and a few of other of those bands. Go back and listen to the hair metal episode.
Yeah.
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 We've covered those guys, and we'll do it again because that's our area of expertise.
Yeah,
We're out of our
definitely.
wheelhouse tonight.
Well, and again, can we, I mean, Beastie Boys,
Yep.
so Run DMC in there, they
Miss
were.
Marquis.
That'd
Yeah,
be more of
that's-
a rap
Yeah,
episode.
That's
Yeah,
80s. That's
more of a
that's rap. though.
That
Yeah.
is rap. Yeah.
Yeah, I left out because MC Hammer would have easily been on my list. If we
Easily,
were just
yeah,
going
yeah.
just straight up 80s. But
That's why I didn't bring the Fat Boys into
Yeah.
play tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Man,
Wipe Out, baby.
That was an excellent cover of Wipeout.
man, that
That was
a-
in Boomerang. And Chris Rock said, "Not you two, man." Said, "First the Fat Boys break up, now this."
You guys were talking about U2 for a second, though. I just want to give a shout out to what was the movie? Is it called Backdraft?
well, I don't know. What are we?
With Tommy Lee Jones and the dude.
It's not Backdraft.
It's not Backdraft. No.
It's where they're the bomb. They're the bomb guys.
Yeah. Blown Away.
There you go. That's it. Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Took
Blown
me a
Away.
second to realize when you said the dude. I was like, "What dude?"
The dude, El Duderino, if you're not
The
the whole
dude.
brevity
The
thing.
dude.
No, the dude, Jeff
Duder.
Bridges and Tommy Lee Jones, but Tommy Lee they were both from Ireland, and Tommy Lee Jones was a huge
U2.
U2 fan, and the whole time he's building bombs or listening to like
Yes,
the Joshua
that's
Tree.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Man, the Thompson twins are getting mad love. On
Yeah, we
here.
got a
They
jinx
sure are.
there. Yeah, we got a jinx.
Hey, they are on. What did I have written down here? Definitely love the Thompson.
Yeah, they are getting.
And Hall & Oates for me is up there with that's a given.
Yeah, it really was. They were on my list, but I mean, you can't. They weren't as big as of course Michael Jackson, Madonna, but still they were.
Of all the people that I
Really
listen,
big.
They're not as big as Michael Jackson though.
Not as big as Michael Jackson, but
Yeah.
nothing was as big as Michael
they
Jackson.
were
no.
a phenomenon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was Fine Young Cannibals, was that 80 or 90?
That was 80s.
That was late 80s.
That was
Okay.
80s.
All right.
Yeah, I like 5 Million Camels, and NXS got a lot of love.
I loved it.
I love
Love
NXS, man.
I love
I don't know why I keep thinking NXS was an early 90s band. Maybe that's just
No,
because.
they were 80s still.
Yeah,
They were 80s.
It's just
Yep.
because that's when he died, I think, was late
Yes.
80s, early 90s.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Doug Lamborn, Air Supply was my number 5, sir. That is some good stuff right
got to go
there.
vinyl with the house.
Try to get back up here. Jeff Demmer said the Cars. I guess that was his concert. That'd have been fun. I feel like they probably put on a pretty good show.
Man, somebody mentioned Tina Turner. 80s Tina Turner was awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
Man, the
yes.
Boss had some massive,
Oh, yes.
massive 80s
Yep.
hits.
And I was never a Bruce Springsteen fan, but
I'm
he had
not
great
either.
songs.
Petty and the Cruisers.
Oh
though.
man,
Oh my god,
that's a great soundtrack.
That
right
soundtrack
Great
right there.
soundtrack. Oh my god.
there.
Now, who actually did this?
Man,
who was the band?
I
Man,
looked that up.
It was
I read it before, but I cannot remember.
I looked it up one time.
look it up. Wow, golly, I know it. was it Michael Perrier was Eddie, and it broke my heart when I found out he wasn't actually singing those songs.
There was another one I was trying to look at.
Well, while you're bringing that up, while you're looking for something, who was it? Remember we talked about
John
him.
Cafferty
There
and the
you
Beaver
go.
Brown Band.
That's it. There you go.
Also, because that same actor, but they did the theme song for Streets of Fire. Remember we were talking about who?
Yes, I Can Dream About You.
I Can Dream About You. Dan Hartman.
There you go.
Dan Hartman.
Yeah.
That's a weird movie if you go back and watch it now. It's got a lot of good people in it. Streets of Fire, that is a strange movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And Jennifer Griffin is nailing this tonight. I was gonna say Dexy's Midnight Riders. Come on, Eileen.
Come on, Eileen.
That was a fun video back in the
Yes,
day.
they
Back
got
in the
that, all
80s.
that, their overalls
Yeah,
on.
yeah, that was.
Like old train conductors.
Let's get. Well, I'm gonna ask you guys one more question. We're getting close. We still got a few more minutes, and everybody listening right now, give me your number one video from the 80s of the pop stars. It don't have to be the ones we listed. Just your favorite 80s pop music video, because that's when MTV was MTV. That's when it was king of the airwaves. Because unless you live in Viola and you had to watch the Friday night special.
Take on Me was my favorite video of the 80s.
That one.
Absolutely.
I was going to say that's quite possibly the best video of the 80s. I think for one time, like it held the record for the most MTV Video Awards or something.
What year, Bradley, you help me with this. It's an MJ song.
Mm-hmm.
What year was the song where he is laid down, he's like the giant, and he stands up and it breaks the, it's like a roller coaster. It's like, give it to me.
I don't know what year. I don't know.
I don't know if it was 80s or 90s, but that video was like, there was a lot of claymation.
Yes.
Had the monkey doing the rocket ship ride. It was like a theme park.
Right.
Yes.
But at the end, he stands up and he's like a giant and he breaks through.
Yeah, I don't know what year
that?
that was, but that what and speaking of cool, this wasn't in the 80s either. But what's the video Michael did with Janet? Scream. That was the name of the
Yes.
song.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
video.
I forgot about
Awesome.
But that wasn't from the 80s.
I know. That's what I
Oh,
just said.
okay,
I said I know.
okay.
We're just.
Are you listening? He prefaced that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
pressed,
my
but,
God,
my
boy.
bad, my
since
bad.
he was, but yeah, aha, man, take on me. That's just the quintessential 80s video, in my opinion. That's it.
What about you, boy? What's your favorite 80s pop video? Man, damn.
Put that
All right. It's got to be Land of Confusion.
That's a good one.
Absolutely. That used to creep me out as a kid, man.
Yeah, it's got to be Land of Confusion, and I enjoyed. I really, really liked watching that one.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, I do have a thing for puppets. So puppets make me laugh for some reason.
he really does.
Yeah,
He definitely.
I'm obsessed with puppets. for
Doug
some reason.
Lamborn said the same thing. Land of Confusion.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah. Angela Martin says Thriller.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Jennifer says Janet Jackson, all right with me with Cab Calloway. I don't remember that one.
Janet Jackson was awesome in the 80s, too. That whole Rhythm Nation album.
Oh,
Oh God, yes.
that song Black Cat. I don't know if I think it came out of
That was in the 90s.
90s.
That was
I
90s.
I still love that song.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause
That
it came
album
out.
was a good album, too.
Yeah.
What was that album called? I used to own it. I was a big Janet fan.
Yeah. I liked her before the wardrobe malfunction. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite's probably going to be California Girls, David Lee Roth.
Got it, baby.
I mean, that's just. I mean that was pure. That was 80s living. You know, that was 80s. That's what you wanted to be. If you're a male, that's what you wanted to be in the 80s was David Lee Roth. You know,
Hot for Teacher.
Yeah.
Pretty close second.
Yeah.
I really like I know this is silly, but I'm going to tell you why I like the video. It's because of the colorful suits. But I really liked Elton John's I'm Still Standing.
That's a good one.
That is.
I thought that was a really,
Yep.
it was an eye-popping video of the 80s, and I thought it was cool.
And that Herbie Hancock video where that was the hands, that was a cool video.
Douglas St. Donna, she says Billie Jean. That was one of the first videos I can remember. I can still remember watching and
The
where I
smoke
was.
and the light up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
when
was-
he was dancing, yeah.
Stray Cat Strut was a cool video, Davey Stat says. Or Hot for Teacher. Now, like you said, Stray Cats, what was that one video they had where they're like in the back alley?
Rock This Town.
Yeah, maybe that was it. That's a pretty cool
Rock this
video.
town, rock
Yeah,
you inside
that
out.
was all right.
Brian Setzer went on to have a pretty good solo career.
It really did.
I think he's still out there.
The Brian
getting
Setzer
it.
Orchestra.
Yeah, he's still
Yeah.
out there getting it.
They're probably still
When
pretty
ska
relevant.
was big, it helped.
Yeah. Rockabilly. There's a whole rockabilly scene, kind of that rockabilly punk scene.
Oh,
where
God, yes.
everybody's all dressed up, but they got a bunch of tats and piercings. It's kind of got its own little.
Jeff Dameron, Madness, Our House. Our House.
Hey, Burning Down My
Middle of
House
our
is a creepy
street.
video.
Yeah,
When they like they're the regular size and they're the little kid. That's a creepy video.
it was. I definitely agree with that. 100%.
The Simply any Robert Palmer video with those hot chicks and the guitars.
Yep.
Man, he could just kept done all his songs with those chicks in the video, and I've been like, I've been sold on him.
Yep.
And I really, he was really good. I really liked his voice anyway. He was Centerfold Jay Giles band, good one, Doug.
Yes. Very good one.
Doulas's White Wedding.
Somebody
Eyes
said
Without
the
a
outfit.
Face was you mentioned that song.
Yeah.
That's a good video.
It's an excellent
What's that?
video. Eyes Without a Face.
Yes,
Somebody mentioned the outfield earlier.
they did.
Yeah.
To give that another shout out.
Well, and just talking about videos, sort of the iconic dances, because that's a huge trend now is dances, but Walk Like an Egyptian. The
Yes.
Bengals.
Talk about that really. I have that on 45 in a box up there in the loft now. That video really started a trend for sure. I mean, everybody was doing it. Like, it got to the point where like, just stop, please stop, and they kept doing it. Just quit doing that.
And did I mention how hot Susanna Hoff was?
You didn't. I don't
Okay,
think so.
well, I'd like to preface that.
Okay.
She's very
Did we shout out to Bobby McFerrin at all?
Yes. Who?
Don't
Don't
worry.
worry. Be happy.
Somebody actually, he mentioned it, and I said, "Yeah." I said that song made him a lot of money. He said, "Yeah, I sold a lot of those tapes when he worked at the sound shop." I was like, "Well, there you know firsthand."
That was Barry, huh?
Yeah.
Barry used to work
Jennifer
at the
Griffin
sound
West,
shop.
The Cure. There you go.
I don't know why I know
Good
that.
pick.
I don't know. I think he's told us. I don't know why it's stuck with me.
Somebody, Daniel Jones said, "Firewoman," a cult.
The cult.
That's a
but
good-
But I was like,
eh,
I was the
That's
cult.
more rock.
More
I mean, the
rock,
Colts, yeah, they're definitely more rock.
Still a killer song.
what about the Cure?
Great band.
I
The
know
Cure's
they've
a
been
great
mentioned.
band.
Just like Kevin.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
I said the Cure, and then boom, just like Kevin. Look at that.
And my
Boing-
cousin loved Oingo Boingo. He was a
Oingo
big
Boingo.
Did you know the singer for Oingo Boingo produced Avenged Sevenfold's self-titled album, the White Album?
I did not
Yep.
know that. Oh,
I said the singer, a member of Oingo Boingo. I'm pretty sure it was their singer, but he produced the Avenged Sevenfold's White Album.
That song there, Ghostbusters, Doug Lamborn. That song took over.
And all right, a little bit since we've all given Huey the love.
Mm-hmm.
All right, listen to Ghostbusters and listen to I Want a New Drug. Huey sued him and won.
Really?
Because for ripping off basically dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
I want a new drug. And but that guy he basically ripped off the music and Huey won. So Huey's living on that Ghostbusters money as well.
That's right.
huh.
Sweet. Yeah, Ray
about
Parker
that?
Jr. That's right.
I didn't know that, Brandon.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Let's get physical. Prince actually wrote Manic Monday by the Bengals. I did know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And that song,
The
Lady,
Pixies.
that Kenny Rogers sang, Lionel Richie wrote that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Lionel Richie sang it. He does a good job.
Yeah, he does his own version.
Yeah.
Of it. Uh-huh.
Doug Lambert, we mentioned that. That was on my list.
Yes,
Paul
sir.
Simon was on my list.
Yes, sir.
I just pulled up IMDb's greatest videos, and I don't remember, but David Bowie and Mick Jagger dancing.
Yes.
in
Dancing in the
in the
streets, they
streets.
kiss each other.
Yeah.
That was a
It was a big
that
controversy.
was controversial at the time. Nowadays, nobody bat an eye at it. But
Yeah, it was huge controversy in that.
what about little Aerosmith and Run DMC?
Oh,
mixing
man.
it up there.
Yes.
That was,
Again, Rick Rubin.
yep. That was talking about transcending.
Yes.
That brought people who probably never heard Run DMC.
Or Aerosmith.
And vice versa.
That
Yes.
right revived Aerosmith's career big time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't think we got anything new up here. I think we hit them all.
We've hit them all.
Man,
This
we
has been
have,
a very in-depth dive into the 80s pop scene
It
tonight.
really has, man. We got a lot of good stuff from the feed tonight for sure, man.
Excellent participation on the feed.
You guys think you get in here and you start talking and you make your list, or like Tooth didn't make one, he's off the top of his head, and he did fine, but then you forget about these other ones that Like, oh yeah, why did I think? Yeah, Spandau. We did say Spandau
Did
Ballet,
say Spandau Ballet.
but before we started the show, though, I think.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever see?
Dire Straits.
Did y'all ever watch the? Oh, that's a great one.
And talking about good videos.
Yep.
Money for nothing.
Checks for free.
Did y'all ever watch the show Modern Family?
Oh yeah.
All right. What's Phil? What's
Phil?
Phil and what's
Phil
his wife's
Duncan?
name?
I don't remember.
Claire.
her name.
Claire. For some reason, I forget the whole premise, but she thinks that Phil loves Spandau Ballet, and she hires the bass player for Spandau Ballet to come perform in the living room, and it's Edward Norton.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
And he calls him out for not even liking Spandau
Yeah.
Ballet.
And
And
that-
like, oh yeah.
And that's one of those inside jokes that
Pretty sure.
they're brave for putting that in there because not a lot of
see
folks
ya.
would get it, but I got it and laughed my butt off.
That was because when I watched the episode, I was like, "Is that Edward Norton?" Yep, that's Edward Norton.
He's talking in that accent and everything. He's dancing around playing the bass.
Oh man, appreciate it, Groovy.
I was trying to say this a minute ago. You guys remember, and I think there was some name changes. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. You remember we built this city on rock and roll?
Yes.
Yep.
Who was that? Starship?
or airplane.
That was Jefferson
Starship.
Yeah, that was Starship.
Or was it Jefferson Airplane?
No, because they
Airplane was first.
airplane was
Starship
first,
was
Starship was second.
coming into the 80s there. But that was a good tune. That was
yeah.
a big pop
You-
classic.
now, hey,
Great
but you know,
slick, man.
which is funny because I mean we all remember that song fondly. But if you Google worst songs ever written, that always pops up as
Pops up.
number one. It does. Yep. On every list, it's one or two, and it's generally always one. Wow. Yep. One of the worst songs ever written.
Is it that bad?
The critics think so. Now, I remember the song fondly. It was a huge hit for me growing up. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's
Always like that song.
there's a lot of other songs that suck worse than that in my mind. But
I agree.
I want to throw something random
Whoa.
at the dais. Can we do a night to where all we do is talk about John Cusack
Yes, and his sister Joan.
and his
there
sister?
you go.
Well, I mean, if we're going to talk about John, Joan's got to be mentioned. So, yes.
Because like just between his movies and the soundtracks, those are just that's so much iconism.
Oh, yeah.
Say anything.
Yeah, I was
Fidelity.
gonna say Peter Gabriel and John Cusack will forever live intertwined.
Yep. Yep. I don't know why I want to do a John Cusack night.
Jeff Dameron just come up with one of me and two saw at the same time about pooped our pants. Party all the time, by Eddie
Party
Murphy.
all the time.
Oh,
party
yeah.
all the
Man.
time.
And you know, you can go with the actors singing. You know, she's like the wind. You know,
Patrick Swayze.
And what's that?
Don Johnson.
And he actually did
He
pretty.
did
I thought
a
he
pretty
did
good job.
What was the song he sang?
I can see the video. It'll pop in my head in a minute. I've kind of pushed that out of my brain because I still want to love. I love Miami Vice, and Don Johnson's done some other good stuff. So I just kind of want to forget about that one.
Man, that was good stuff.
Eddie Money. We
Oh,
forgot
I
Eddie
loved
Money.
Eddie Money.
Man.
2 tickets to paradise.
And speaking, you know, this is not 80, but rest in peace, John Prine.
Yep.
That's terrible, man. I guess the corona got him, apparently. So,
How old was he? He was.
but I saw it probably 4 times, and I couldn't tell you. I don't remember. He was up there. He was.
A good friend of mine was a big fan of his, and I believe she. I was thinking
Tell it like
there's
it
not
is.
been anyone that I've been a huge fan of other than Mitch Hedberg that's passed on that's really affected me. She was upset for a couple of days over that. I was
Really?
like, wow. But yes, that was a big loss. He was a true singer songwriter.
And I didn't realize until I guess he passed away. Really, that some of the songs he's written, I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know he wrote.
Oh,
that
yeah.
song. You know, it just never occurred to you. Yeah, Gary, we Toto was the stuff back in the day. We mentioned Toto several times for show. Dula says, see you, Davey. Dula says 72. She thinks.
So I thought I had 71 or 72 in my mind.
All right, guys, let's wrap this bad boy
it?
up
That's not the song though.
with the Don Johnson. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's.
Heartbeat. Heartbeat.
Is that it?
Yes, that's it. That's the video I'm thinking of.
You said hard. I thought you just bust out in a winger. Headed for a heartbreak. Hey, we'll find it.
Heartbeat. That's it.
That's it.
Heartbeat.
There's
Heartbeat.
the song.
Can't Take Your Memory. Voice on a Hotline.
Yeah, and it wasn't terrible. I didn't think. Tooth, sir,
Thanks for having me.
man, we had a good time. It was a good show right there.
I had
Man.
a lot of fun talking about the 80s.
Yeah, man, good stuff.
The 80s is
Thank you,
what
Gary.
started me.
Bradley Ramsey,
Thanks, sir.
thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
I loved it.
Boo.
What up, yo?
Thank you, buddy.
Man, hell yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all Thursday night. Appreciate it, guys.
I holla.